What's meant for you will find you. There comes a moment in life when you realize that forcing, chasing, and proving yourself is exhausting your spirit. You've done everything you were told to do. You worked harder, you waited longer, you prayed deeper, and still, some things didn't arrive on your timeline. That's when doubt begins to whisper, maybe it wasn't meant for me. But here's the truth you need to hear today. What's meant for you does not require you to lose yourself to receive it. So many people think destiny is something you have to outrun, catch, or wrestle into your hands. But destiny doesn't work that way. What is meant for you moves with intelligence. It moves with intention. It moves toward you, even when you don't see it coming. Sometimes life delays things, not to deny you, but to prepare you. Think about how many times you wanted something so badly, and later you realized you weren't ready for it then. You didn't have the strength, you didn't have the wisdom, you didn't have the self-love to hold it without shrinking. Timing wasn't working against you, it was working for you. What's meant for you will arrive when you are aligned, not when you are desperate. You see, desperation comes from fear, the fear of missing out, being left behind, or not being chosen. Alignment comes from trust. And trust is knowing that even when the door closes, another door is quietly being prepared in your name. Life is always responding to the version of you that you are becoming. There are relationships that didn't last because they were never meant to grow with the future version of you. There were opportunities that passed you by because they were too small for the person you are evolving into. And there were losses that felt unbearable, but they cleared space for something far greater to enter. Sometimes the universe removes what no longer matches your calling. And I know letting go hurts. It hurts to release dreams you prayed for, people you loved, and plans you carefully built. But not everything you lose is a loss. Some things are simply redirected blessings. When something is meant for you, it will not confuse you. It will not drain you. It will not require you to abandon your values or your peace. What's meant for you will feel like recognition, not struggle, like coming home to yourself. And yes, there will still be work. Growth is never passive. But there's a difference between effort that builds you and effort that breaks you. Stop blaming yourself for things that require divine timing. Some paths had to break so you wouldn't settle. Some delays had to happen so you wouldn't accept less than you deserve. And some prayers weren't answered because what you were asking for wasn't big enough for your purpose. Trust that your life is unfolding with intention, even when it feels uncertain. Every experience is shaping you. Every challenge is refining you. Every pause is teaching you patience and strength. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. What's meant for you is not lost. It's not late. It's not given to someone else. It's simply finding its way to you through the growth, the lessons, and the courage you're building right now. So breathe. Release the need to control everything. Let go of the timelines that no longer serve you. Stay open. Stay grounded. Stay faithful to who you are becoming. Because when the right opportunity, the right love, the right purpose arrives, you won't have to chase it. It will recognize you, and it will find you. There comes a point in life when you realize that pushing harder is no longer producing peace. You've chased the opportunity, chased the approval, chased the relationship, chased the version of life you were told you should want. And instead of fulfillment, You felt tired, not tired in your body, but tired in your spirit. That kind of exhaustion is a signal. It's life whispering that you were never meant to force what was designed to flow. You don't have to force destiny. Destiny is not fragile. It doesn't break if you stop running after it. What is truly meant for you does not require you to shrink, beg, or perform for acceptance. It does not ask you to abandon your self-respect just to be chosen. When something is aligned with who you are becoming, it arrives with a sense of recognition rather than resistance. So many people believe that effort means struggle, but there is a powerful difference between effort that grows you and effort that drains you. Aligned effort feels purposeful. It feels grounded. Forced effort feels anxious. It feels like you are constantly trying to convince life to give you something it is already unsure about. And when you live in that state, you begin to confuse persistence with self-betrayal. There are moments when you have done enough. You showed up, you tried, you gave your best, and still the door did not open. That is not failure. That is protection. Because what is meant for you will not require you to lose your dignity at the door just to step inside. It will meet you where your values are still intact. Chasing often comes from fear. The fear of missing out, the fear of being left behind, the fear that if you don't push harder, nothing will happen. But alignment comes from trust. Trust that your life is guided by something greater than your anxiety. Trust that you don't need to exhaust yourself just to be worthy of good things. When you stop forcing, you start noticing. You notice how life responds differently when you are calm instead of desperate. You notice how opportunities begin to appear when you are focused on growth rather than approval. You notice that the right people don't need convincing. They recognize your value without explanation. Forcing destiny often looks like over-explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand you. It looks like staying in spaces where you feel unseen, just so you don't have to face the discomfort of letting go. It looks like saying yes when your spirit is clearly saying no. And every time you do that, you drift further away from alignment. Alignment doesn't mean life is effortless. It means your effort is not wasted. It means you are moving in the same direction as your purpose, not against it. When you are aligned, even challenges make sense. They teach you, strengthen you, and move you forward. When you are forcing, every obstacle feels personal, heavy, and defeating. There is a quiet power in knowing when to release your grip. Letting go is not giving up. It is creating space. Space for clarity. Space for peace. Space for something better to find you without resistance. Some things are delayed because you are still holding on to what was never meant to last. You don't need to audition for what is meant to be yours. You don't need to compete for it. You don't need to prove your worth to it. Your worth was never the question. The only question was alignment. Are you becoming the version of yourself that can receive it with confidence and care? When you focus on alignment, your energy changes. You begin to invest in yourself rather than chasing validation. You begin to honor your intuition rather than silencing it. You begin to trust that your path does not need to look like anyone else's to be meaningful. What is meant for you will arrive with clarity. It will not leave you constantly questioning your value. It will not require you to abandon your boundaries. It will feel steady. Even when it asks you to grow, it will feel expansive, not constricting. So pause, breathe, Release the pressure to control every outcome. Do your part, show up with integrity, and let life meet you halfway. When you stop forcing destiny, you allow it to find you in the exact place where you are ready, not desperate, not depleted, but aligned and whole. There are seasons in life when waiting feels heavier than failure. You did everything you were supposed to do. You showed up, you stayed patient, you believed, and still, what you hoped for didn't arrive when you expected it to. In those moments, the mind starts to question your worth, your timing, even your faith. But here is a truth that changes everything. Delays are not denial. They are preparation. Life does not move to punish you. It moves to shape you. When something doesn't come on time, it is often because the version of you who asked for it was not yet ready to carry it without breaking. Readiness is not just about desire. It is about capacity. It is about strength, wisdom, emotional maturity, and self-respect. And those things are built in the waiting. We live in a world that glorifies speed, faster success, faster healing, faster answers. But growth has its own rhythm, and that rhythm cannot be rushed without consequences. Many blessings lose their beauty when they arrive before the foundation is strong enough to hold them. What looks like a delay may actually be life protecting the gift from being wasted. Think about how many times you wanted something years ago that would have overwhelmed you back then. You didn't have the boundaries to protect it. You didn't have the discernment to manage it. You didn't have the self-trust to keep it. The delay was not a mistake. It was mercy. Waiting teaches you who you are without the thing you desire. It reveals your fears, your attachments, and your habits. It shows you where you still rely on external outcomes for validation. And once those lessons are learned, you become someone who can receive without losing balance. Preparation often looks uncomfortable. It looks like unanswered prayers. It looks like doors closing without explanation. It looks like watching others receive what you've been asking for. But comparison is not a sign that you're behind. It's a sign that you are on a different path. Your journey is customized for your growth, not your ego. There is wisdom that can only be gained through waiting. Patience deepens compassion. Delays build resilience. Silence strengthens intuition. In the absence of answers, you learn to listen inward instead of constantly looking outward. And that inner clarity becomes your greatest guide when the opportunity finally arrives. Sometimes what you are waiting for is also waiting for you to change, not to become perfect, but to become prepared, to let go of limiting beliefs, to heal old wounds, to stop accepting less than you deserve, to raise your standards to match the level of the blessing you desire. A delayed blessing often arrives with more meaning, more stability, and more longevity. It comes when you can appreciate it, protect it, and nurture it. And because you waited, you recognize its value. You don't take it lightly. You don't sabotage it. You honor it. There are lessons that only delays can teach. Lessons about surrender, trust, and timing. When you learn to wait without resentment, you begin to understand that life is not working against you. It is working within you. Every pause is shaping your character. Every setback is strengthening your discernment. You are not being overlooked. You are being refined. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared for something that requires more from you than you currently have. And when it arrives, you will understand why it couldn't come earlier. The waiting season is not empty. It is full of invisible growth. It is full of lessons that will one day make sense. And when the moment finally comes, you won't just receive what you ask for, you will be ready to keep it. So if today feels slow, uncertain, or unfair, remember this: delays are not rejection. They are life's way of making sure that when the door finally opens, you walk through it strong, steady, and wise enough to stay. There is a quiet truth that reveals itself when you've lived long enough to recognize the difference between struggle and alignment. What is meant for you does not leave you constantly anxious, questioning your worth, or doubting your place. It does not keep you awake at night, replaying conversations in your head, wondering where you stand. What is meant for you brings peace, not confusion. Confusion is often mistaken for passion. Chaos is often mislabeled as excitement. But when something is truly aligned with your life, it settles you. It grounds you. It does not require you to sacrifice your inner stability just to hold on to it. Peace is not boring. It is clarity without noise. Many people stay in situations that drain them because they confuse intensity with meaning. They believe that if something feels hard, it must be important. But constant emotional turbulence is not a sign of destiny. It is often a sign of misalignment. What is meant for you will challenge you to grow, but it will not consume you to the point of exhaustion. Alignment feels calm even when it is unfamiliar. It doesn't demand that you betray your values to belong. It doesn't require you to become smaller so someone else can feel bigger. It allows you to show up fully without fear that being yourself will cost you love, respect, or opportunity. When something is not meant for you, your energy leaks. You start overthinking. You explain yourself too much. You compromise boundaries you promised you would never cross. You feel like you're constantly adjusting who you are just to keep the connection alive. That kind of confusion is not love, purpose, or destiny. It is a warning. Peace is your internal compass. It doesn't shout. It whispers. And the problem is that many people are so used to noise that they don't trust quiet. They don't trust ease. They believe that if something doesn't feel dramatic, it must not be real. But real alignment feels steady. It feels safe. It feels like you can breathe again. What is meant for you does not pull you away from yourself. It brings you back home. It aligns with your integrity. It supports your growth. It respects your boundaries. And even when there are disagreements or obstacles, there is mutual clarity. You're not guessing. You're not chasing reassurance. You're not living in emotional uncertainty. True alignment does not require constant validation. It does not keep you on edge. It does not confuse silence with rejection or distance with disinterest. When something is meant for you, communication flows. Understanding grows. And even in moments of difficulty, there is a shared commitment to clarity rather than control. Energy never lies. Your body knows before your mind catches up. Tightness, anxiety, restlessness, these are signals. And peace, that deep sense of calm beneath the surface, is also a signal. When you learn to listen to how something makes you feel over time, not just in moments of excitement, you begin to choose alignment over attachment. What is meant for you will not require you to abandon your self-respect. It will not ask you to betray your values for acceptance. It will not drain you to the point where you lose your sense of self. It may ask you to grow, But growth in alignment feels empowering, not diminishing. Choosing peace is not settling, it is selecting clarity over chaos. It is choosing sustainability over emotional highs that come with emotional costs. It is honoring your well-being as a priority, not an afterthought. When you stop normalizing confusion, your standards rise. You begin to understand that clarity is not too much to ask for. Respect is not optional. And peace is not a luxury, it is a requirement. Your future won't even be a question. What is meant for you will feel like a yes in your spirit, even when it asks you to step into the unknown. It will feel supportive, not draining. And the more you trust that feeling, the more you align your life with what truly belongs to you. There comes a moment in life when you realize that fighting every chapter is exhausting your faith. You try to plan every outcome, control every detail, and protect yourself from every possible disappointment. But life is not a straight line, and growth is not a schedule you can dominate. There is a deeper wisdom at work, one that asks you not to control the unfolding of your life, but to trust it. Trust does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop panicking. It means you release the belief that if something hasn't happened yet, it never will. Nothing meant for you is lost. Nothing meant for you can be taken by someone else. What belongs to you moves on a path that is uniquely aligned with your growth, your timing, and your readiness. So often, people grieve futures that were never meant to exist. They hold on to timelines that no longer serve them. They mourn opportunities that passed without realizing those opportunities required a version of them that no longer fits. Trusting the unfolding of your life means understanding that not everything that looks like an ending is a loss. Some endings are protection disguised as disappointment. Life is always preparing you in ways you cannot see in the moment. While you are focused on what is missing, something within you is being strengthened. Patience is being developed. Discernment is being sharpened. Resilience is being built. These qualities are not optional for the life you are meant to live. They are essential. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not off track. You are exactly where you need to be to become who you need to be. Timing is not about the clock. It is about capacity. It is about whether your heart, mind, and spirit are strong enough to receive what you desire without losing yourself in the process. When you trust the unfolding, you stop rushing your healing. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. You stop measuring your worth by external milestones. Instead, you begin to honor your progress, even when it is quiet and unseen. Some blessings take time because they require depth, they require wisdom, they require a strong sense of self. And if they arrived too early, they would break you, confuse you, or distract you from your true purpose. Delay is not a punishment, it is a safeguard. Nothing meant for you will pass you by. If it leaves, it was not aligned with your future. If it doesn't happen now, it is because there is still growth needed. And if it feels uncertain, it is because you are being invited to lean into faith rather than fear. Trusting the unfolding of your life means accepting that clarity often comes after commitment, not before it. You move forward without having all the answers. You take the next step without seeing the whole staircase. And with each step, confidence grows. Not because the path becomes easier, but because you become stronger. You are learning to trust yourself. You are learning to listen to your intuition. You are learning to let go of what no longer serves you. These lessons are preparing you for the responsibility of your future blessings. When what is meant for you finally arrives, it will meet you as an equal. You won't have to beg for it. You won't have to fear losing it. You will recognize it because it will fit not just into your life, but into who you have become. So allow your life to unfold without constant resistance. Stay open, stay patient, stay committed to your growth. What belongs to you is not running away from you. It is waiting for the moment when you are ready, aligned, and strong enough to hold it. What's meant for you will arrive in its perfect time when you are ready to receive it with peace, strength, and trust.